Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Steelers' Deontay Johnson makes shocking claim about Cardinals' loss. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson suggested on Tuesday that the club looked past the lowly Arizona Cardinals ahead of Sunday's game at Acrisure Stadium, that Arizona won 24-10 to improve to 3-10 on the season. "I don't know, I felt like that the whole week. Once we got out there, I just felt like something was different," Johnson explained while speaking with reporters, as shared by Miles Simmons of Pro Football Talk. "We weren't at our best and whatnot. But I feel like we just took them more lightly than we should have." While the then 7-4 Steelers entered the weekend as betting favorites to take care of business at home, Pittsburgh lost starting quarterback Kenny Pickett late in the first half to an ankle injury that reportedly could cost him an additional 2 to 4 games. The Arizona-Pittsburgh matchup was also twice delayed due to inclement weather. Despite the disappointing result, 7-5 Pittsburgh ended Week 13 holding the number 5 seed for the AFC bracket of the postseason tournament. As of Tuesday afternoon, the ESPN Football Power Index gave the Steelers a 55.8% chance of making the playoffs. Johnson and company will have little time to lick their wounds, as the Steelers host a 2-10 New England Patriots side this Thursday night that may be the worst overall team in the league by the time Week 18 concludes. On Tuesday afternoon, OddsChecker listed Pittsburgh as only a 4.5-point favorite against New England. While the then 7-4 Steelers entered the weekend as betting favorites to take care of business at home, Pittsburgh lost starting quarterback Kenny Pickett late in the first half to an ankle injury that reportedly could cost him an additional 2 to 4 games. The Arizona-Pittsburgh matchup was also twice delayed due to inclement weather. Despite the disappointing result, 7-5 Pittsburgh ended Week 13 holding the number 5 seed for the AFC bracket of the postseason tournament. As of Tuesday afternoon, the ESPN Football Power Index gave the Steelers a 55.8% chance of making the playoffs. Johnson and company will have little time to lick their wounds, as the Steelers host a 2-10 New England Patriots side this Thursday night that may be the worst overall team in the league by the time Week 18 concludes. On Tuesday afternoon, OddsChecker listed Pittsburgh as only a 4.5-point favorite against New England. Johnson seems to understand he and his teammates should ignore any predictions for Thursday's primetime affair. "We can't come in this Thursday with the same mindset," Johnson added during his comments. "We're going to be fine. We've moved past it." Following Thursday's contest, the Steelers will play at the Indianapolis Colts on December 16. 7-5 Indianapolis faces the 6-6 Cincinnati Bengals at Cincinnati's Paycor Stadium this coming Sunday. Should Mason Rudolph start at QB for Steelers? Following the injury to starter Kenny Pickett, the Steelers have 2 quarterbacks remaining on their active depth chart, Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. Trubisky, the highest-paid backup quarterback in football, tied with Jacoby Brissett at $8 million per year, entering the season, was signed by the Steelers in free agency 2 summers ago to be the starter, at least until rookie first-round pick Pickett was ready to take over, which happened in Week 4 of last season. In 5 starts with Pittsburgh in 2022, Trubisky went 2-3, and threw 5 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Not exactly shocking that he was benched. That doesn't exactly scream highest-paid backup numbers, in my estimation. Next in the pecking order is Rudolph, who I believe has been treated about as unfairly as one possibly could in his 5 years in Pittsburgh. When you play behind Ben Roethlisberger, there are going to be moans and groans anytime the backup QB is forced into action. Rudolph was that guy from 2019 to 2021, when Ben was still at the helm. But his numbers in hindsight should make you do a double take. In 17 total games, including 10 starts, Rudolph has thrown 16 TDs to 11 INTs. His QB rating is 80.9, and he went 5-4-1 in those games. In 25 games, including 24 of them which were starts, the now-injured Pickett has thrown 13 TDs and 13 INTs. Rudolph has been objectively better than Pickett, and I know the Matt Canada narrative will be built in, but it's not like Rudolph's coordinator, Randy Fichtner, was exactly Andy Reid. Rudolph is basically the ex you later realized wasn't so bad following a few years in the dating game. I'm not here to say he's going to save the season. But I don't think it's crazy to think he could be the best quarterback on the Steelers' current roster. This is a team in need of a spark. A spark that Trubisky probably won't provide against the New England Patriots Thursday night at Acrisure Stadium. The backup quarterback is usually the most popular player on the team whenever the starter is struggling. In this case, it may just be the third string. I don't think Pittsburgh and head coach Mike Tomlin will seriously consider starting Rudolph in the next few weeks, but it should certainly be revisited if the team continues to struggle offensively. Rumor: Steelers could steal LB Anthony Barr from Vikings. PS. Could Anthony Barr's Vikings reunion be short-lived? There is a rumor that the Steelers may be trying to get Barr off Minnesota's practice squad after losing Shaq Leonard, who signed with the rival Eagles. It was originally released by former Steelers scout and current Steelers radio host. This doesn't mean Barr is definitely gone, but it's worth noting as a possibility when it comes from a source with some credibility. Barr spent last season with Dan Quinn and the Cowboys after playing under Mike Zimmer in Minnesota for his first 8 seasons. He was sidelined from football this year until joining the Vikings practice squad a few weeks ago after Jordan Hicks went on injured reserve. Since then, Barr has been called up for games against the Broncos and Bears and has played a total of 25 defensive snaps. He has been effective in these limited snaps, recording a third down stop at Denver and recovering a key fumble against Chicago. Barr could be elevated from the practice squad to the Vikings game roster once again this season. After that, he would have to be signed to the 53-man roster to continue appearing in games. The Steelers could also try to bring him to their active roster, at which point the Vikings could also make him an offer. If that happened, he would have a choice to make. The 9-3 Steelers need another option at LB. Barr spent the first 8 seasons of his career with the Vikings and most recently played for the Dallas Cowboys, where he racked up 58 tackles and 2 fumble recoveries in 14 games. The return of Barr coincides with the injury of starting linebacker Jordan Hicks, who suffered compartment syndrome after an injury on the field Sunday. The condition required hospitalization and Hicks is expected to miss at least 1 game. Barr was picked 9th overall by Minnesota in the 2014 NFL Draft. He made 4 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances during his tenure with the Vikings. And you fan, what do you think of the Anthony Barr situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.